And welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there, baby. All right. Here we are in the throes of Christmas. Christmas is literally 5 days away. It snuck up on me. True or false? December 5th, I said, wait a couple of days to start watching your Christmas movies. And then December 15th hit, and I went, oh, God, I haven't seen any Christmas movies. December 15th, 8 p.m. Oh, no, I haven't seen any Christmas movies. Very true. Here we are. Santa Baby. I'm wearing a shirt that says Santa Baby on it that I made myself for Halloween. You know, Christmas is the Halloween of December. Valentine's Day is the Halloween of February. One more. President's Day is the Halloween of whatever month that happens in which that happens. We are, it's so stupid. We are in it to win it, baby. What's been going on with me? Nothing. Again, I have not watched any of the Christmas movies. Just got my year-end sport for Strava. Top 1% again, baby. It's no big deal. Top 1%. You're one of the strongest people in the world. I love it. I think it's great bragging rights. I don't have a lot of things to brag about. What movies did I watch this week? I usually come in with that type of thing. What We Do in the Shadows ended, and I caught up on that. The season finale for Shrinking was 2 days ago, and I forgot. I usually watch it the day of, but I know what I was doing 2 days ago, and I was unable to do that. What else has happened? I went to a Christmas party, and quite frankly, it ruined my Monday. I went to a Christmas party on Sunday, and let's just say it ruined my Monday. I had a great time. My Monday was ruined, though. I have so many movies to watch, and so far I've only been able to watch, this is very true, in this order, Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, Mickey's Twice Upon a Christmas, The Muppet Christmas Carol, and It's a Very Merry Muppet Christmas movie. Two of those I put on, the Muppet ones, they're on my list, but two of those I put on just because I said I wanted to save all the good ones for, the day of. Because usually on Christmas Eve, and people have traditions, and I guess I have traditions, but usually on Christmas Eve, I'm by myself, and I actually started this with somebody I was dating a couple of years ago, and it wasn't Christmas Eve. It was a couple of days before, but I would watch Office Christmas Party and The Night Before, and I thought those pair so well. So I just thought, okay, let's watch Maverick, Office Christmas Party, and then The Night Before. And usually that ends around 11 p.m. for me, and I can go to bed and wake up on Christmas morning and work out and give the presents to these two idiots over here who one was just chasing the other one. Maverick. At some point, I'll just name the list. I don't have a lot to talk about today, so I'll just name the list. Elf, Krampus. Krampus I can watch anytime. Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, which is the 2002 version. Four Christmases, 8-Bit Christmas. A lot of these were added to the list because get away from me, please. A lot of these were added to the list because I kind of enjoy them, and you know what? Quite frankly, I think they're great. Spirited, which is I think the latest edition, right? The newest one. Muppet Family Christmas, Muppet Christmas Carol. It's a very merry Muppet Christmas movie. I do love the Muppets. Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas and then Twice Upon a Christmas. Jingle All the Way. Arthur Christmas, The Nightmare Before Christmas, which is something I can take or leave. Trading Places, Gremlins, A Very Harold and Kumar Christmas, which was added last year because I hadn't seen it in a long time. And no, it was added 2 years ago because I hadn't seen it in a long time. And then last year I remember putting it on and leaving the room because I think it's fine. I just don't need to watch it every year. Klaus, Rocky 4, Die Hard, Die Hard 2, Home Alone 2, A Christmas Story, A Christmas Story, Christmas, Eight Crazy Nights, Scrooge, and Family Switch is the newest one. I like Family Switch so much. I think I watched that like the day before Christmas Eve at night, and I was sitting alone in my apartment watching that movie, and I thought it was so funny. I thought it was so good and so funny. And it's so cheesy. And then there's like specials and stuff. There's a new Simpsons Christmas, and this is this is something I hate. I'm sorry to clear my voice on mic. I hate when the Peloton instructors do that. They have a lot of them will like take a sip of water and then just go right on the mic, and it is so annoying. It is true, especially it's like 4:00 in the morning. I don't want to hear that shit. But this is something this is something that's been really a peeve of mine. The Simpsons and Family Guy have been relegated to streaming specials on Disney Plus, on Hulu for Family Guy and Disney Plus for The Simpsons. And I think that takes away from what these shows are. They're two of the longest running animated shows. For The Simpsons, the longest running sitcom. Having streaming only things is so bad. And yesterday I saw an article that likened the this model to what South Park is doing. I think whatever South Park is doing on Paramount Plus, previously Max, but now Paramount Plus. Previously Max, they did it like once or twice on Max, and then the rest have been on Paramount Plus. I don't like that's not a good model. Having 4 specials of South Park per year. Well, first, they haven't been funny in a very long time. But having like 1 or 2 1-hour specials per year is not interesting. And for Family Guy to be pushed to 2025 and only have these specials come out on Hulu, even though they're considered part of the main season, is so frustrating. It takes a long time to make cartoons, and I think if you have a good night with a good set of shows that you have had for The Simpsons for 36 years, for Family Guy 24 years or 26 years, I think, for them too. For I don't know, 25. Let's just whatever. For Bob's Burgers, 17 or 18 years. You don't need to futz with that. So stop putting shows like Universal Basic Guys on the network and thinking that's going to be something that's going to be a hit. With the exception of The Great North, no other show has done well besides Bob's, The Simpsons, and Family Guy. So why mess with animation domination? Why mess with that night? And why relegate Family Guy to 2025 in favor of a show you pick up 2 seasons of because your name is on it? Fox Broadcasting is what I'm saying. But now people who are Simpsons fans are forced to subscribe to Disney Plus in order to watch a 45-minute special, which is just 2 episodes without the act breaks or the commercial breaks put in. It's just insane because we know it's good. They're still going to do 21 episodes this season but now they're only going to air 19 of them on broadcast because we're going to have 2 specials or whatever. I think the Simpsons are getting another special too. Hold on. Simpsons specials, Disney Plus. Not the shorts. I don't like the shorts. 4 exclusive episodes. There's a Christmas themed one that premiered already, which I have yet to watch. And then there's a Halloween themed short. There's a bonus Treehouse of Horror presents Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes. What? Did I watch that? Wait a minute. What the hell is that? Yes, I watched that. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. That was a short. So stop calling them specials. It's ridiculous. Okay, anyway. I think if I don't mind some type of, I mean, I do hate it, but I don't mind some type of exclusivity when it comes to things like this, but just air them on broadcast. You get the same thing. If Paramount can air Yellowstone edited on CBS, then you can do this with that. Anyway, let's move on to these stories. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter, written by Winston Cho. For Hollywood, AI is a double-edged sword. Now, if you don't listen, subscribe to LinkedIn Logs, which is the Jobs podcast over there on cpluscomedy.com. I talk about AI in the industry a fair amount, but better people to cover it would be Joanna Stern at the Wall Street Journal, or the people over at the Pivot podcast. AI is here, whether we like it or not. It's cheap, it hurts jobs, and we're going to be using it forever. Movies like Robert Zemeckis' Here dealt with AI. Here is that movie where Tom Hanks and Robin Wright starred, and it was in the corner of a living room, and the entire movie took place in the corner of a living room over the course of several decades. They used AI, or Zemeckis used AI, an AI tool, a generative AI tool from VFX studio Metaphysic, to make Tom Hanks and every other character in that movie appear younger or older. For every shot he was going to be de-aged, there were two monitors. One showed what the cameras were capturing, the other showed him in the scenes at various ages in real time, as if he came straight from shoots on Splash or Saving Private Ryan. Wow. So, and then he would change his acting based on how old he's supposed to be in that scene. As opposed to other movies like The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, makeup. But now we're taking, there's going to be movies and TV shows and news media that has to utilize AI. Ben Affleck set off a firestorm in November among the rank and file in Hollywood with his predictions on how AI will ripple across the industry. He said he wouldn't want to be in the VFX business. Said the artist equity chief executive, they're in trouble. While we can look, from an outsider's perspective, there's a lot of perspectives that could be looked at from this, but from an outsider, people who comment to me who don't have any idea how the entertainment industry works, they're saying, "Oh, your writers are going to be done, producers are going to be done, all the actors, everything's going to be made on computers." And I mean, yeah, for movies like The Lion King and Mufasa, The Lion King's Tale, or whatever that movie's called, I think it's called Mufasa. That may be true, but however, there's other ways that people can utilize this. From the inside, we writers and actors and producers and directors, they and everybody in between, up and down the ladder, that's what they sign up for unions for and to fight against. In September, Lionsgate announced a first-of-its-kind partnership with Runway that will see the New York-based AI startup train a new generative AI model on Lionsgate content, which will be used to assist with behind-the-scenes production processes. Under no cash deal, Runway will have access to a portion of the studio's titles to create a model designed exclusively for Lionsgate's use, with the hope that it can that it can plugged into different parts of the production pipeline, such as the storyboarding process and in helping with the design of VFX work. Okay. AI as a tool should be regulated. If we're just going to be going whole hog into this, it needs to start being regulated, and there needs to be a tight leash on it at this point, so that even still in the future, when the leash is most likely lessened, then we will at least have safeguards to stop Disney and Fox and Warner and Blumhouse and Lionsgate from just owning full likenesses of people and songs and scripts and everything. I look at it like this. I'm not a huge social media person. I do like Strava because it does hook up with my Garmin and it tells me the things that can help me, be a stronger or better or faster, or, recover easier and stuff like that. Last year, there are things I've done in this past year working out that I never would have done last year, that I wouldn't have done the year before that. And it only happened because I was using different equipment that I'd never used before. I was doing different yoga classes that I've never done before. I'm not saying that we have to full on embrace everything that's coming towards us, but there's just no point in trying. We can keep it at arm's length, but there's no point in trying to run at this juncture. So let's again. A couple of months ago, I'd be like, don't touch AI at all. Period. But let's not build AI tools and say and let it make movies for us. No, let's let it help us. Let it do the menial tasks. Let it do the things that are so difficult. Let it do the things like I don't know what if it takes a lot of time for one human person to connect the dots on a face in VFX, then let the AI do that. But let that person use that tool. Don't let it do it automatically. It's things like that. We can't just let things happen automatically. They're needed, as I just read a mistake in this Hollywood Reporter piece by Winston Cho. I'm sure Winston's a great writer. I've read his post before. I'm sure the editor is a great editor, but there's also a crap ton of mistakes when it comes to a lot of other AI things. All right, this next piece comes from The Wrap, written by Tess Patton. Jewish on-screen representation is largely stereotypes and needs more diversity and specificity. New study finds. This comes from the USC Annenberg study. We have had rising anti-Semitism in the past 8 years, mostly because of one person, and it is this study from USC's Annenberg Norman Lear's Center Media Impact Project revealed that Jewish representation on screen still falls flat. I mean, if you've listened to the show before, I've talked about the Annenberg Inclusion Initiative, the Color of Change, all these different projects, diversity reports that talk about women and queer and people of color and differently abled people. And yes, even when it comes to religion and these things can have a huge impact. Type of people, because Jewish is also like how do I put this? Jewish is also like a not a status. That's a stupid thing to say. It's a a cultural thing. It's someone's culturally Jewish. If they don't believe, but they're still culturally Jewish or something like that. I don't know. Researchers from the Media Impact Project analyzed 108 Jewish characters from across 49 episodes of 15 TV series that aired from 2021 to 2022. They found that in scripted television, Orthodox Jews are often othered. Yeah, and that's true. Orthodox Jews are made to be, quote unquote, strange, while Jewish people at large are painted in broad strokes as a monolith. Yeah. Out of the 15 series studied, they found 95% of Jewish people represented on screen were white. Only 3 characters were perceived as black. 1 is Asian and 1 is Middle Eastern Asian. What were those? The USC study also noted that there's been a 36% rise in anti-Semitic events from 2021 to 2022, and a 140% rise between 2022 and 2023. Yeah, and oftentimes, whenever if I see Jewish representation on television, it's always something that is in a stereotypical manner. And they mentioned projects like The Nebish Man, The Overbearing Jewish Mother, and The Jewish American Princess, which are things that I've heard of or seen. And it is very true. It just, it's like, in the same vein, I think about this all the time. Shows on that Tyler Perry makes, this free programming that's on Tubi, stuff on Stars. Whenever you see black people in those shows, it's always this, you see two versions. It's not a monolith, but there's two versions. It's either the hoodie thuggy people, or it's the put together for Africa, like we only marry other black people, like that type of, or we only hang out with other black people, that type of thing. It's either Malcolm X and Dr. Martin Luther King, or Tupac and Biggie. It's like there's only those two options. And to refer it back to the Jewish representation, it's oftentimes the people writing this are themselves Jewish. And I wonder, especially when it comes to things like, to go back to the Tubi and to Stars and to Tyler Perry, sometimes I wonder, do they think that they're doing their people, people who are writing stereotypes, do those people think that they're doing themselves and their race, their culture identity, their gender, whatever, they're doing themselves a service? Does it make sense? Does it make sense? Do we have to keep, doing the same stories over and over and over again? We are 80 years into television. I mean, do we really need, or 90, I don't know, but do we need to have, a movie on Tubi, called like He Hurt Me or something like that, and it's about a black woman leaving a black man for another black man? Or do we need to have the overbearing Jewish mother? If you're going to tell those stories, what's going to be different than the things that came before them in the 90s, in the 80s? In the same way, this comes from Variety, written by Andreas Buenahora. UCLA diversity report finds white men over-index, and I'm sorry, I just saw a word, I didn't know what it was, over-index on most watched streaming shows as lead actors and series creators. UCLA's Entertainment and Media Research Initiative has unveiled its latest Hollywood diversity report, this time focusing on streaming television in 2023, and found that, quote, streaming audiences want new offerings, diverse stories, as most watched metrics fall short of capturing the market. If you turn on any television show, you can see that white men lead it. There's a new trailer for The White Lotus, a show I've never seen, a show I never will see. And yeah, sure, it features one or two people of color in that entire series. But all in all, it's a show about nasty, rich white people being nasty and rich to each other. I don't understand why people like that. I do not like it. It's not my thing. And I will never watch that show. I don't want to support that. Then we have movies like Amelia Perez, which, I mean, come on. We have something different here. We have something different. I'm glad it's getting all the buzz. According to the report, streaming audiences have a desire for diverse stories, and female viewers are a significant force in regards to total viewership. Then why does a show like Virgin River still exist? That show is not diverse. There's not one person of color on it, and people continue watching that. The study indicated that women over-indexed in regards to 9 of the top 10 shows ranked by both total household minutes viewed, and total household ratings. Households of color were found to be overrepresented among viewer demographics for 6 out of the top 10 shows based on ratings. Data indicated that women represented the largest audiences, even exceeding their population share for each top 10 streaming sites, with the exception of The Last of Us, for which women made up 46.9% of viewers, and Family Guy, for which women made up 46.7% of viewers. Suits was found to top the streaming charts in 2023 during a year in which few new shows aired and many television series were canceled, partly due to the Hollywood strikes and overall business consolidation. The study also found that among the most popular streaming series of 2023, a majority of content represented currently running series. But one of the keyest of findings. I have the title. Indicated that showrunners, creators, and lead actors across television tend to be predominantly white and male, and I could have told you that. Actually, let's throw in female too. I get a lot of, like Deadline, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, like casting emails, and they'll say like X, X, and X were cast in this new project, and a lot of times it's a lot of white people. I would say 90% of the time. People tend to go to these shows, and oftentimes those are the creators, those are the people that tend to get shows. However, data shows that top streaming shows with BIPOC leads consistently outperform others in regards to median ratings, and series following, quote, underrepresented stories also rank higher in ratings. Furthermore, BIPOC households are reported to drive high ratings among the top stream shows, yet have a less substantial impact in regards to total minutes viewed. So, I guess that means like they just don't finish. Like BIPOC households just typically don't finish shows. BIPOC groups, particularly Latinx creatives, tend to be underrepresented in 2024 when it comes to television deals. Yes, we know this. Wow. Oh my God. A share of all the creators of by race and ethnicity, top streaming scripted shows in 2023, white people are 92.3%. I think I said this in LinkedIn logs. I have to record all these things back to back today. But I think these shows, in order for there to be more representation and more diversity, it would have to take companies like Disney and Fox Broadcasting and Warner Brothers and Lionsgate and Blumhouse and A24 to cast shows and movies accordingly. There's a movie that came out this year called See No Evil, and it stars James McAvoy. And I understand, is it called See No Evil? What is it called? See No Evil? Oh, Jesus. Yes, Speak No Evil. It's called Speak No Evil. And I understand, there's a total of 8 people cast in that movie, but there's no people of color. If I go on IMDb and I'm scrolling through, and your cast is like 7 white people, and then there's like one person, and he's like cab driver. What is it like? Why do we have this? Why does this exist? How are we doing this in today's? And yeah, you can say, oh, it's the story, it's set in this and this, but in the movie X, what was it? X movie. In the movie X, that had Jenna Ortega, who's a person of Latin descent, and Kid Cudi. And then in the follow-up Pearl, even though there were 10 people in that movie, it was still Mia Goth, as the star, and no people of color. I don't care if it's set in 1918. It's about a serial killer girl. I haven't seen Maxine yet, but yeah, all right, I see Halsey, Giancarlo Esposito. Okay, there we go. Good. Just saying. Hire people. Just put, unless, again, I've said this before, unless there is a line that says, get your lily white ass in here, we don't need to have the same people playing the same things over and over again. Okay. Well, The other podcasts are on hiatus for the next couple of weeks. So this will be the only one. I might do one next week. We'll see. I don't know. Probably not. If not, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where you can see me talk to famous people. If you're subscribed to this show, I just put out an interview with Rose Matafeo from Starstruck, from Moana 2, and now from her second special on Max, on and on and on. I saw Moana 2, and I was like, "Is that who's this person? I know their voice." And then I go home and I go, "It's Rose." And then within the week, I see a press release for her special, and I go, "Oh my God, let me reach out." I reached out. How often do I reach out to somebody and they respond, and then we follow up with an actual interview? Not very. I can tell you, I've been doing this 11 years. Not very often. And it worked. So I had a chance to talk to Rose, audio only, unfortunately, but there is a video sitting on youtube.com/cpluscomedy under the interviews, mostly because of who she is. I was like, you know what, I have to cut some type of video, and so that was an experiment to just cut basically a slideshow. We'll see if I do it again. But yeah, that lives on youtube.com/cpluscomedy, and that the video version and the audio version is obviously before this episode in the RSS feed for this podcast, in this podcast feed, whatever. If you want to see video versions of Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show, and LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs podcast, head on over to that YouTube channel. And if you want to subscribe to those shows, which I think you should, wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, Pocket Casts, TuneIn, Pandora, I think. Oh, no, because I have to have a certain thing for SiriusXM. Anyway, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Blue Sky, and Facebook at C Plus Comedy. Me at Chad Black White. Thank you so much for listening, and Merry Christmas. Bye.